Kyodo News English World。
皆さんこんにちは。こちらは共同通信英文記者のポッドキャストです。英文記者は国内外で起きている出来事について取材してオリジナルの英文記事を発信したり、日本語のニュースを英語に翻訳したりしています。共同通信の英語の記事をテーマに、いろんな国から集まる仲間たちと英語と日本語を交えていろいろ楽しくおしゃべりしていけたらと思っています。今日は海外部3人の記者でお届けします。Hello everyone, my name is Toma and I've been at Kyodo News for about 6 years now. I am a voracious book reader and today I would like to recommend Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. よろしくお願いします。
Hi there, my name is Peter Mashter. I'm a staff writer at Kyodo News. I'm from London. Thank you very much.
Hi there everyone, my name is Eduardo Martinez. I'm also a staff writer here at Kyodo and I'm originally from Brisbane, Australia. Nice to meet you all.
So for today's episode, we will be talking about an article written by Peter about atomic bomb survivors, or hibakusha, and discussions over using artificial intelligence to continue telling their stories. Ed, can you read the title for us, please?
Sure. Japan trying AI-assisted storytellers to pass on wartime memories.
ありがとうございます。被爆者が減っていく中、AI を活用して、体験談を後継する動きが出ているという記事ですね。では、最初のスーパラをお願いします。
はい。Hiroshi Nishioka is close to tears, describing the aftermath of the Nagasaki atomic bombing he experienced as a 13-year-old, as he recalls encountering injured people begging for water and reaching out for his flask. He appears racked by guilt that he turned them away. I pushed away their hands, the 93-year-old says. I was worried about running out. I always question why I did that, he adds, his voice fraying. Moments later, his recollections suddenly end, and he asks for another question. But Nishioka is not speaking live. His responses, including becoming overcome by self-reproach, are part of a pre-recorded, artificial intelligence-assisted interactive video intended to preserve his memories for future generations. His AI testimony console is one of a growing number of initiatives across Japan using the burgeoning technology to pass on memories in a way that feels close to real-life conversation with the survivor.
ありがとうございます。So Peter, how did you come across this topic to begin with?
So a couple of years ago, I did a feature on people inheriting stories of hibakusha, A-bomb survivors, which we'll go into later, but basically people learn hibakusha stories to tell them. And then a year later, I met a hibakusha who said to me that he thought that artificial intelligence could be used instead to preserve the memories of A-bomb survivors. And I always thought that was an interesting way of thinking about it. So I looked into it. And it turned out that this kind of system, this kind of AI system, is being used in some places to try to recreate the sense of meeting an atomic bomb survivor, asking them questions and them telling you about their experiences. Well, how it works is that you ask it a question, you ask the console a question, and then the AI system decides which footage answering a variety of questions is the most appropriate one based on the content of what you've just asked them, and then it plays that.
It's a much more interactive experience.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. So the thinking behind some of the people who've commissioned these projects is that particularly atomic bomb survivors will often go to schools and tell children about their experiences. And with the number of atomic bomb survivors gradually declining, the number of people who can go to schools or to other places and tell these stories is naturally decreasing. And so as a way of making history feel active and as a way of making it feel personal rather than about facts and figures, they decided to create these consoles.
You previously mentioned multiple projects. Where are they situated? Where can people go to see them?
So I think the only one that you can go and see readily right now is of she's not actually an atomic bomb survivor. Her name is Tamako Noda, and she's in her 80s, and she was orphaned in World War II, and she lost her mother in the bombing of Hamamatsu in Shizuoka Prefecture in central Japan. And you can go to the Reconstruction Memorial Center in that city, which is devoted to the reconstruction of Hamamatsu, which was severely damaged in the war. In the case of the Hiroshi Nishioka console, which is the one that this story starts with, at the moment that is being sent out by the Kanagawa prefectural government in eastern Japan to various places. And then in Hiroshima, where the first atomic bomb was dropped, the city government there is currently working on 5 of these consoles, one of which will be in English.
Okay, so how did the idea for this project first start then?
So these projects are inspired by an American initiative which has been going on for over 10 years now. So the USC Shoah Foundation has a project called Dimensions in Testimony, where they preserve the memories of survivors of the Holocaust and other atrocities.
So you mentioned previously one in Hamamatsu in Shizuoka Prefecture. So are these projects not limited to atomic bomb survivors? Are there other people who survived the war who have been linked to these projects?
There are. Well, the one in Hamamatsu, as you say, yes, is I think, as far as I'm aware, that's the only one I'm aware of that is a non-hibakusha, atomic bomb survivor-related one. But there are moves to try and expand this.
What have the hibakusha said about these projects involving AI?
The hibakusha I've spoken to about these projects are generally in favor of them. I think sometimes, how much you can prove this, I don't know, but some of the people who I spoke to who are behind these projects say that they occasionally encounter resistance to the idea that it might be generative AI. So
Right.
It's like a made-up atomic bomb survivor. But as I explained at the start, this is essentially a way of choosing video that is most appropriate to what you've asked it. So there's no made-up generative component. But I think if there's any pushback on it, it's this idea that it might be not real.
What are some of the questions that people might ask?
Well, because these things are primarily aimed at children, a lot of the questions that you can ask tend to revolve around things like asking, what was it like at the time? Were you scared? That kind of content. So it's about the sort of sensory feeling of the war and the feeling sense of it.
Would anyone who doesn't speak Japanese or English be able to ask questions as well?
At the moment, no. Although people developing these projects have said to me that they intend to create systems where subtitles would appear in your own language.
So what are some of the difficulties that have been encountered in making them?
So one of the difficulties is, of course, finding people who are still have memories of that time. They may still be alive, but a lot of people, their memories are failing. In the case of Nishioka-san, who I met personally as well for this story, he has an excellent long-term memory, but his short-term memory is not what it used to be. Time is running out, effectively. And so there's few people who can actually sit in front of a camera for hours and hours and do this as well.
What other means to continue passing down these stories are being utilized that you're aware of?
In Hiroshima and Nagasaki, there are programs called inheritor programs where you inherit the story of an atomic bomb survivor in a government-certified way, and you have to memorize their story as told to you by them. But I was always struck by how restrictive that system is, because you have to stick absolutely to the facts as they are authorized. And so there's a lack of fluidity there, which I think is going to be lost when all of the atomic bomb survivors are gone, which is why these AI systems are an interesting compromise.
Yeah, it's an interesting solution to, preserve that that personal aspect of recounting these stories, right?
ではそろそろ時間になってきました。共同通信では共同ニュースプラスというサイトで日本や世界で起きた出来事について英語のニュースを発信しています。今日ご紹介した記事も掲載されていますので、ぜひチェックしてみてください。それでは皆さん、
See you next time!